Welcome to the channel. I will upload videos in English, patents, reports of the European Union, psychological war of the military. On the channel you have how to test and record the street theater, hacking tests, logs. You can download the documents in the description and translate them as I am. Welcome to the channel. I will upload videos in English, patents, reports of the European Union, psychological war of the military. On the channel you have how to test and record the street theater, hacking tests, logs. You can download the documents in the description and translate them as I am. Welcome to the channel. I will upload videos in English, patents, reports of the European Union, psychological war of the military. On the channel you have how to test and record the street theater, hacking tests, logs. You can download the documents in the description and translate them as I am.
Withdraw. Oh, I gotta withdraw everybody. I haven't seen this happen before. Oh. Well, that really sucks. Okay, guess. I think I can end this.
The channel you are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information.
Withdraw. Oh, I gotta withdraw everybody. I haven't seen this happen before.
The channel you are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information.
Okay, an ASN tells a story. Now, my ASN, and I can call it my ASN because it's actually registered to as a home internet service provider, which is not reasonable. I'm not a corporation. Tells me it was registered 24 years ago. I have been targeted for my entire life, as my family is, because we are MK Ultra. So this ASN proves an MK Ultra family, and let me take you through how. So these are the prefixes. All the different entities, most of them aren't labeled as to who is targeting, but a major hospital where I had most of my surgeries at is listed. And this one is actually conducting cancer research studies on us. Now these guys circulate my e-chart, which is a medical chart, internationally. So this started out with my Great West Life Insurance Company and another insurance company. This is sustainable development. This tells you who is all involved. Investors Group Financial Services actually routes me to an offshore Virginia Islands entity, which is managed by some illustrious individual from Morocco. Yeah. So there they are again, the Great West Life Insurance Company. Bell, Bristol Aerospace is Linode. It's actually Linode. And then Government of Manitoba, who has been very familiar what they've been doing to my family for at least 60 years, by the way I view this. So this is the connectivity. It shows you the aggregation. Now, this is supposed to be a home internet, right? Which it isn't, because it all relates to my family. Is routed to like the Upper Law Society. This has been going on for many decades. So it routes to all these people, but we aren't going to be able to go through all of those right now in this clip. I'm just going to take you through these peers. So St. Boniface Hospital, Qualico is actually connected to Halliburton in the United States. And by the looks of it, they entered the program to target my
The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975.
El canal que están escuchando contiene información
The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. The channel they are listening to contains important information to locate from where it is routed, such as hacking as well as other information. I'll leave it in the video description. Below you will see remote control patents since 1975. According to expert Liza Parker, it is when a group of criminals come together for mutual protection and profit in order to illegally monitor and persistently monitor a person, gang stalking. The main motivation of this group is always economic, but secondly it can abound cases of individuals with a criminal record, drug trafficking, pedalistia, pimping, attempted homicide or manslaughter. This is on the one hand because of this history the group guarantees its fidelity, and on the other hand because to perform the task of harassment and vigilance there has to be a sick or psychic disorder. Normally these criminals can be run by secret services or private spy agencies founded by former police officers or former Secret Service employees with the authorization of the Ministry of Interior to monitor, take photographs, and provide information. Group harassment involves the use of many individuals to harass, insult a victim, or perform mental games with the victim in order to drive them crazy, and thus damage their credibility. According to the victims, it is a process that lasts many years. It seems that once a person is chosen as a target, it remains so for life. This is because, while not all bullies involved in harassment will know why a person has been chosen as a target, nor will most have any personal interest in harassing the victim, behavior related to abuse or violence constitutes an addiction that needs to be fed, so that victims can remain lifelong targets. Psychological warfare techniques are used against the target in a methodical and well-orchestrated attack that often makes a fool of the chosen person before his friends and family, because what happens is hard to believe. However, in reality, it happens and the number of target people is increasing, to the point that they find it possible to relate to each other and discover that the same tactics are being employed everywhere. These, which are the same as those used in sectarian harassment, aim to weaken the target to physical and psychological collapse. Characteristics of group harassment. Organized harassment has several essential elements. Bullying always has to be subtle and never demonstrable. Organized harassment is carried out by a substantial number of people, not by a single obsessed stalker, or by a collaborating group recruited by a single obsessed stalker. Members of organized harassment groups are named after the target person, and or have previously identified them. They have usually had no personal treatment with the target person before starting the harassment. Community organized harassment groups are strongly connected with bullying groups in other communities. If organized harassment were sufficiently well known to the general public, it is unlikely that this crime could continue, as it depends on the secrecy and disbelief of the public and public officials. Why be selected as a target? The reasons why a person is initially turned into a goal may vary. He is sometimes a political activist, according to the Scandalous Directive, 7984/10, adopted under Zapatero's presidency in the EU. The systematic monitoring and collection of personal data of citizens is allowed because they have certain ideologies or religion, such as being far left or right, environmentalists confronted by a multinational, Muslim or Catholic fundamentalists, nationalists, or anti-globalization. The first dated case of mass espionage was developed in North America with the COINTELPRO, Counterintelligence Program, or Counterintelligence Program, an FBI program developed between 1956 and discovered in 1971 aimed at investigating and disrupting dissenting political organizations within the United States, but resulting in illegal and secret surveillance of millions of citizens through secret informants, phone taps, spy microphones, surreptitious mail opening and theft. It's basically about turning our communities into societies like what they have in China, or there's a place in Russia, or East Germany. There is a UN agenda called 2020 that aims to adapt this model for all countries around the world by 2020, a gigantic citizen mass espionage system to prevent widespread protests, covert action quarterly, summer 1997. Others were simply people who became targets who were in the wrong place at the wrong time. They can be simple people admired by a group of followers, local leaders, and who are against all immorality, or well judges, or journalists whose work disturbs power. Apparently, there have even been companies that hired harassment groups to silence people who were once their employees. Groups are often lied to about the victim, making them believe, for example, that the person is a pervert who must be expelled from the city. The reasons are limited only by imagination. According to Lawson, in some cases the person has not even done anything wrong, is absolutely innocent, but is used as a training target, or as a dig, to show the other members of the group what will happen to them if they betray him. This serves to keep members of these bullying groups linked to the group, because of the intense fear of being turned into a target. It is a frightening prospect, because the members of the group are intimately aware that the lives of the victims are completely destroyed. Recorded cases of victims include people hoping to inherit large property, or inheritance disputes, government information leakers, victims of a hostile divorce, witnesses to a crime, business owners, or journalists who have investigated crimes by the government, or multinationals. There are also those who are victims of personal revenge. Goals of group harassment. The express goal of bullying is to silence a victim, drive the victim crazy trying to induce paranoia with their follow-up techniques, break-ins and harassment. Isolate the target from any form of support, so that in the future it will be able to be detained, admitted to a sanatorium, or even forced to suicide. Destroy the reputation and credibility of the victim, who will in this way be seen as a mentally ill in case he wants to complain or report the abuse. Harassment is also used to collect information about people, as well as to force individuals to emigrate or leave an area. Isolate the victim. Keep friends and acquaintances from the target who participate in the victim's isolated harassment by creating psychological walls. This further favors the likeness that the harassment cannot defend itself against the accusations made to him, and that harassment can be prolonged over time by introducing new accusations behind the harassment, which cause social rejection to strengthen, and the will of the stalkers to renew to continue to exercise harassment about the victim. It is about eliminating all forms of support and assistance to the victim. Many of those who know or are close to the target are forced to participate in this type of criminal fraud, which is essentially an offer they will not be able to refuse. Some are caught for various crimes or blackmailed by existing secrets that want to prevent them from knowing their coworkers, family, friends, and the community at large. People close to the target who resist are threatened, and use these same methods against them until they obey. Discredit the victim, destroy the reputation and credibility of the victim, try to get him to be seen as a mentally ill in case he gets to complain or report the abuse, with the aim of giving rise to the conditions of a process, or a forgery of a psychiatric diagnosis, to treat the victim of the mentally ill. To get the cooperation of people outside the victim in harassment, neighbors, co-workers, he is anonymously charged with false and serious criminal charges, rape, paid illustrious for example, by even creating false reports. It's about dehumanizing the victim before his liquidation. Destroy the victim's character, harassment, intimidation, awareness raising or creating extreme fear in the victim, reduction of the victim's professional or personal activities to the maximum, obvious follow-ups on the street, in a restaurant, or at work. Identity theft, from financial to professional. The publication of private information. They try to scare and confuse real victims with a mix of true and false information that they expect to be created and repeated by victims. They also try to be friends with real targets to get information that allows them to launch another attack. Denial of communication. Intervention and sometimes cutting communication on phones, email accounts, voicemail, etc. Impoverishing the victim, financial ruin, as we'll see later, is one of the phases of group harassment. It's about alienating and marginalizing the victim from the community at large, including the family, which makes it easier to psychologically demoralize and discredit the target. The goal is for the victim to lose his job and his job searches to be mocked with the aim of bankrupting him, and to be able to become a criminal. The life of a target is intentionally destroyed, and attempts are made to lead people to the loss of their home by affecting their personal and business relationships, gradually increasing each of the costs, lowering their incomes, for example by causing car accidents anonymously progressively to make their insurance more profiting. Perhaps some of the homeless people you see were honorable people, who didn't accept a bribe or threats. This harassment depends to a large extent on the following. 1. That they manage to psychologically demoralize the target, and thus believe that he is sick and therefore afraid to say nothing for fear that others will think he is crazy. 2. That the objective has no evidence, beyond its word, that it is being harassed. 3. That the objective does not have records or documentation that demonstrate in detail when, where, and to what extent it is suffering harassment. 4. That the target is not able to find out who the stalkers, or those involved in the stalking gang are. Posted September 9, 2017 by Dr. Teresa Mesa R. Tags: Group harassment. You want to know who the people who do it to you are? Enter Google galleries, associations, entities of your people, or where you live, and will leave entrepreneurs and other personalities. There you will find the answer. Others blackmail them for committing misdemeanors or foreigners with expelling them. If you don't recognize anyone, it means you're not all involved. You can use YouTube videos of events from your village several years ago to verify that they behave normally, along with the previous step. Do the same with old and current videos from all kinds of platforms. It constantly changes platforms and content you visit as well as fonts. Street theater, street harassment. Not everyone is involved and everyone knows what they're doing. First, to achieve collaboration, they use corrupt cops. This allows them to call anywhere, and they just obey each other. Second, many work in stalkers' companies. Third, when you pass, don't say where you go, and watch people. Most behave normally. Fourth, change town to walk. Do not say where you go, and always go to places full of people. You will see that most behave normal. No street theater. Fifth, watch from high places, without warning of where you are going. Most behave normally. Sixth, write everything down, which catches your eye. Don't forget that hacks are always present. Seventh, make screenshots of the important thing about the internet. Save it on a pen drive. Eighth, when you change towns for a walk, always walk around the same area afterwards. Improvises. When improvising, people behave normal. 9. Can be a city to walk. Walk improvising different streets, and then encompass an area that you always like to go to. When you improvise, people behave normal. 10th, marathon. Walk hours and hours improvising. Most 99.99 people behave normally. No street theater. 11th, change keys on your router devices, Wi-Fi, etc. if you can't record it with another device and upload it to the internet. 12th, create accounts on all social networks. Share everything, what you discover, this information, etc. 13th, try to command emails from cyber police. Forms will not let you record it and upload it to the internet. 14, or add people from your city and others to all social media profiles and share this information publicly. 15th, test with street theater people, the same stimuli hastily. There will come a time when you know them in your city. Go ahead and try with them their own methods. They react the same. Some of them were already objective or still are. Out of fear, collaborates. 16th, stroll through another city and let us know where you're going. You'll see that they're already waiting in your usual walking areas. Surprise them from time to time. 17, or if the authorities, corrupt, political, government, important, religion, well known. Walks in the middle. They will try to hinder everything you initiate, claim, record and share. People defender, letters to politicians, the answers. Sometimes, not all are involved, only corrupt. If so, they will try not to report. Do it via web, record, print and share on all networks. I continue with proof. What if I have claro? Is that when you are unpredictable in your walks, routines, and so on, the 99.99 of people is normal. If it's a small town, change towns for a walk. You'll see it's a group. 18th. The next thing you have to do to unprogram yourself both in the street theater and the rest is to watch videos on the internet, YouTube, and similar from several years ago. You will see that people behave normal. 19. Stay looking at storefronts in places where quite a few people transit. Watch the reflection. There is no harassment/street theater. 20. View mirrors, etc. You will see that there is no street theater. 21. In most establishments and streets there are recording systems, or even you can hire a detective or your family or friends. This will help you reproduce all the gestures of harassment of individuals and keep track of that on those devices, both of the gestures and of the perpetrators doing them. You must in front of one of those devices reproduce all the bullying gestures applied that day in an exaggerated way in front of one of those areas with video surveillance or detective cameras. Do it in an exaggerated way in a very short period of time. 22. Oliva your mobile recording if you detect street harassment. Between that and the cameras, shops, traffic, public areas, you'll be testing. Remember to pass the videos or YouTube or pen drive channel. They may be able to delete it. Asterisk last year I was deleted several and accessed the mobile remotely, activating the cameras and removing photos. 23. If you had a friend, detective who can record and search areas where you previously notify where you are going, if they know where you are going they may appear, and have greater surveillance systems that area between what you get, the recording and the cameras in the area you can get interesting data. 24th. Keep an independent record, block of notes that you carry with you always. There you can write down day and date of things that you cannot record elsewhere and anywhere. 25th. If you think your relatives are involved, try them. This type of harassment is about deceiving and giving sesgate information, so you may deceive your relatives with half-truths. You are sick, in danger. When you notice they're using a phrase that makes you think he's involved, calm down. Ask that family member questions about that more specific situation. E.j. It says something related to something you bought, or picked it up with your hand with the intention of adding to the shopping cart, and then you regretted it, and left it in place in the store. Within a few hours your family member brings you that product. Don't worry, ask questions, search and do this with anything you find strange, over the months or years. I did, and on most occasions, apart from my relative's face of surprise or bewilderment, I discovered that I didn't know everything I should know if he was involved. This is used in MKUltra, COINTELPRO, election campaigns, social movements, Black Panthers, Luther King, It's used a lot by the military and governments to damage the image and relationships of those movements, which is that they apply it to an individual person. They seek it is to isolate you from the supporting ties, thus liquidating you, incapacitating you, experimenting, stealing. Cyber. First, create accounts on all social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, WordPress, Blogger, Instagram, Tumblr. Second, tell what's happening to you. Upload the evidence, complaints you have, letters. Third, add the maximum